You need a headache-free, fast way to pump and shave joints. Let's go. I'm gonna show you how to pump joints in 4 easy steps. Step 1, prep and clean the joint. Step 2, back your joint. Step 3, pump your joint. Step 4, shave smooth your joint. We're filling control joints in order to create a seamless floor, whether that's a finished concrete floor in a warehouse space or if it's a floor that you're coating after the fact. Step 1 is prepping the joint. Some joints may already have material in them and you may require a separate blade. You need to run a diamond blade down the sides of the saw joint in order to create a clean environment for your material to bond to both sides.
All right, first things first, we got a lot of different wheels here, and the difference in the wheels is the thickness of the wheel. You want to run a blade that is as close to the thickness of the joint that you're cleaning out as you can. The blade that's currently on here is a little narrow. We're going to swap it out. I'm going to start by laying the machine on its side and loosen all 3 of these. We've got an onboard wrench and we're going to use that to loosen this nut. Direction of rotation is indicated on the angle grinder and you can look at it on the top of the head, but it's also annotated on the blade itself. Make sure you run it with the direction of rotation that is proper to the blade setup. All right, round 2. While your friend holds the locking mechanism on the angle grinder, you can hopefully bend your wrench back the other way. Now you're good to go. You just put your cover back on. Let's cover the basic operation of this machine. In the rear of the machine, you have an indicator. This indicator helps you track the center line of the saw cut that you're following. In the front of this saw, you have an indicator that will drop down and allow you to track straight and true the saw cut that you're cleaning out. When you get to the end of a saw joint near a wall, just raise that indicator up and you can follow it to the wall. On the side of the machine is a handle that will drop your saw blade or raise your saw blade out of the cut. On top, you got an on-off switch. Press the power button when you're ready to start and drop your blade and have fun. For step 2, you want to put a backer down in the joint. And all this backer is doing is creating a 2-sided adhesion from side to side and preventing bonding on the lower side of your filled material. We're gonna show you 2 methods. One is with the Albion hand stuffer, and this tool has on the back side a little stuffer that you can stuff ends of joints that are hard to reach. The center applicator wheel has a depth adjustment. Adjust it to set the depth of your backer rod the proper depth. If you're pumping a 1/4 inch wide joint, put your backer rod a 1/4 inch deep. The other method we're gonna show you is with the Albion Rover cart. This cart removes your need to bend over. For setup on this cart, you wanna have the front wheel about an 1/8 inch deep into the joint and then set the rear wheel at the depth that you're trying to set your backer rod. Run a tail behind the machine, start the machine into the joint, make sure the front wheel is pressing the backer rod into the joint, and you're good to walk. The spool that goes on top can hold multiple spools or a singular spool, but you want to make sure the backer rod is coming off of the top. For any setup to do with this cart, please refer to the Albion Rover manual. All right, y'all, we're on to step 3, the fun part. Anybody like shooting guns? These ones shoot caulking. Step 3 is pumping your joints. We're going to show you 2 methods. Method 1 is the battery operated cartridge gun. A couple operational pieces for this gun here. We have the plunger release here. If you have a hard time getting it unreleased, push it forward before you try and pull it backward. You have a speed setting knob here. It goes 1 through 6. If you're unfamiliar with one of these things, start it on a low setting. Once you get familiar, you can really ramp it up and start moving pretty quick. When you're using one of the 22-ounce cartridges, you have pigment in here, so you need to mix these. Shake these by hand for 60 seconds a piece. Once you're done shaking it, take the cap off. You want to retain this piece because you're going to use it on top of your twist mix tip. I'm going to take this little red cap, and unless you're saving this for later, throw this thing away. It has raw A and B component on there, so don't just set it on the ground. Take your twist mix tip, press it on the end firmly, slide your collar down, and tighten that thing up. All right, you've got this thing all mixed up and you're ready to use it. You're gonna put it in the gun. I'm gonna press the plunger release. And I'm gonna take up the slack so that the plunger faces are directly in contact with the cartridge. I'm gonna shoot out of the end of this waste until it's a uniform consistency in color and in texture. When you first start pumping out of the tip, it's gonna have raw, unmixed material. Refer to the user manual if you have any questions on how to use this machine. But next we're gonna talk about the Gorilla Tools joint pumping cart. This holds 10
10 total gallons. A side, B side will both hold 5 gallons. That's step 1. Fill your material in the A and B side as they're clearly marked. Once your hoppers are full, you're gonna turn your valves to the on position, both of them at the bottom of your hoppers. The next step is to unscrew the factory and keep this thing, do not throw it away. The factory nut, you're gonna remove. Inside there's a 3D printed cap, it's red. Retain that as well because we're gonna use it later for a cover. Press your twist mix tip on there, thread the nut back on there, and now you're ready to start pumping. If your valves are in the open position, your power switch from your supply is turned on and you engage the trigger on your handle, your pumping joints. Don't miss this, come here. When pumping with Polyurea joint filler, whatever's inside your twist mix tip is gonna last about 30 seconds. If you haven't shot any material through the gun in the last 30 seconds, you need to do so. That material will get hard and it will explode the next time you try to turn it on. If you're leaving for lunch, you can leave this tip on here and just use it as a cap. When you come back from lunch, take this tip off, throw it away, put a new tip on, and start pumping joints again. When you're done and you need to put this machine away, drain all the material from your A and B component hoppers, and then you're gonna pour a little bit, about 6 to 8 ounces of xylene in both sides. You wanna run that all the way through the gun. These hoppers get empty, refill them with enough material to just flush through the gun until you have clear xylene coming out the other side. Once you have clear xylene coming out the other side, your gun is clean, put the caps on, turn everything off, close the valves, and put it away. For any kind of long-term storage, you're removing all of the xylene from the lines, and you want to put a little bit of canola oil in there and run it through the lines just to keep it fresh and lubricated. On to step number 4. We're shaving the joints smooth. We're using a man-powered joint shaver. This joint shaver has a head that's canted. The reason that it's canted is so that it can slice through the joint rather than tear through it by pushing straight on. Always make sure that it is canted and at an angle when pressing through your joints. If you have a dull blade, make sure you replace it. Replacing blades on these things is pretty stinking easy. When I walk you through it really fast, loosen all 3 of the bolts just enough where you can pull the old blade out, put a new one in there. There's a seat inside of there, so make sure it sits firmly in there. Clamp the bolts back together and you're shaving new joints. There is an optimal time to shave joints. It's around 30 to 40 minutes after you've pumped them. If you wait too long, it will be very difficult to shave, so you will work twice as hard, and they won't look as good because they're gonna shear and break instead of shave clean. Also, don't shave your joints too early. If you get on them too early, it's going to be pulling and tearing the soft material rather than shaving it. All right, a couple of nightmare things to avoid. Do not wait until tomorrow to shave your joints. Using something fast curing, you need to consult a TDS. It's likely a little faster than what you think. Another thing that will give you fits through this project is if you're cross-contaminating A and B components with anything to do with the pump or on the floor, or you've undermixed your twist mix tip. Another thing that can create undesirable results in your coating, if you're coating over top of this stuff, is drips all over the place. So keep in mind as you're running your joints to stay with your tip in that joint or over your trash bucket so that you can catch any drips, because they're gonna get hard and they're gonna be hard to see, especially if you're using a concrete matched color. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Let us know what other videos you want us to make so that we can best support you in your learning.